Hey, Marc.
Hey, how's it going, Alina?
Good. How's it going for you today?
It's going good. Off to a good start for the morning. So excited to jump in on for this call.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you. Thank you so much for joining. I know this is all new for all of us, something last minute. And as you know, I've been trying to put together this collaborative support series. So I'm super excited to have you join. No matter where we are, I know you're in California, I'm in Pennsylvania. We're all together in the sense that with social distancing, with self isolating, with self quarantining, and no matter where you're at in that phase, 6 feet apart from our loved ones, right, and our friends, but we can still be connected by heart. So this is why I wanted to do this, bring some support as we're all together at home. So I am super excited to find out more about you and have you share with everyone just a little bit about where you are, what you do, who you are. So when you're ready, just go ahead and take it away and just share.
All right, awesome. So thanks. First off, thank you for the invitation. And when you talked about, hey, this collaboration of various coaches and people who are supporting people in our local communities or communities outside of us, like, we're talking on Zoom, you're in Pennsylvania, I'm in California. I couldn't help but jump on this call.
Mhm.
In terms of for myself, so informally, my name is Marc Shimmin. I'm a body mind coach, sports massage therapist, and a running coach. I also have a background as a substitute teacher, which I did for a couple of years up in the Escondido School District. So for me, a big part of it is teaching people, but not teaching people to memorize facts. It's more of teaching them to be critical thinkers of, okay, I know the answer, or at least I have an idea of what the answer could be, but I want people to figure it out for themselves.
Right, right. Yeah, and I think that's so important. So side note, we met each other in this same body mind coaching program, which for me has been such a huge avenue of support as someone who is independent, who's done it all and done a lot of stuff myself. So I'm really happy about that space and just who you are as you mentioned a sports massage therapist, your background with teaching, the body mind coaching. It's so diverse. But what connects? What is the connection piece for you in what you're doing right now and how you've used all your experience to support your circle of influence, your community at this moment?
So even that is an interesting question too, because if you look at what I did when I went to college, is I majored in criminology and sociology, and then after college, a couple months later, I jumped into massage school.
Mm.
And when you look at the comparisons, criminology, sociology to massage school, people are like, how the hell does that work? Like, those are two separate ball fields. I had to stop and think about that. And I was like, okay, what is that connection? The answer I've arrived at is everything is connected people wise there. It is in criminology and sociology.
Mhm. I think you're on, you froze. So I'm just going to give it a moment. I don't know if you can hear me. Let me see. Hold on.
Yeah, you're frozen.
Unstable internet every now and then. So I'm going to put my hotspot on just in case it kicks off again and then we'll.
Okay. Plus, I know like with Zoom, a lot of people are using Zoom, so that could be another
I
aspect too, where so many
know.
people are using it. There's delays on here.
I know. And you know what? I've been doing these sessions like probably like 2 or 3 a day. And I have to say Zoom has been pretty good. It's like timing wise, like usually around this time it's fine, but if I hop on later, it's really slow. Okay, let me make sure this hops on. And this is kind of why I also wanted to pre-record it so I can like cut any of this out just in case.
Exactly.
Okay, that's on, that's on. All right. All right, I'm gonna cue again because I heard all the way up to. All right, so as you were saying, the connection piece for you and your experience and going to criminology school and sociology and all of that to where you're at now, I kind of heard a little bit of that. So if you can pick up from
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. In terms of with criminology, sociology, it's looking at people and groups in the macro view, while massage work, running, coaching is more of the micro view, the individual. What connects both sides of the macro and the micro is people. So what I tell people now is, okay, how do I go from criminology to and massage work is while I majored in those things in college,
Mm-hmm.
in general, I major in people.
Wow, I love that. Yeah, so That's really interesting. And I think on this journey of becoming a body mind coach, I don't know if this is true for you, but I know for me, the level of awareness has deepened so much to be able to, I love how you say connect to self. This just popped in my mind. I know you have a series of, on your social media, on your Instagram, where you, under that topic of connection to self, but what a great way to really connect to that deeper part of yourself and know what is that connecting piece that's always been there for you. So to have that awareness for you that it's all about the people. So, you can put on the different hats, you can be all the different, like the athlete and the running coach and the sports massage therapist, and have gone to school for all these different things, but that connecting piece of people, almost like part of, like, it makes me think of core values. So with that connection piece and understanding that about yourself, what is one of your main core values that you think speaks to that and has allowed you to take action that way to connect to self and to people in this way?
That is probably one of the deepest questions I've heard so far this morning. We're just like, hey, who wants to ask a deep question? Alina, well done.
Sorry.
It's all good. I love these deep questions, and that's actually one of my core values is I want to connect with people, not just in a superficial way, like, hey, how's your day going? Good. Okay, anything else you want to say? Is I want to connect with people and understand, hey, what are your victories? What are your struggles, challenges?
Yes.
Obviously, I don't want people just word vomit all over me, but at least being, hey, I know I'm struggling with this right now. Okay, cool. How can I, support you? Do you need somebody just to listen to you? Do you need somebody to give you a different perspective? Or, do you need somebody to offer a different viewpoint, a different thing? Like, hey, man, I think you're completely wrong on this angle, and here's why.
Yeah. And I think it's so important to know. I know it's great that you mentioned that, because I dive in deep too in these conversations. That's who I am. And like you, I have a deeper, we learned on one of our calls the difference between emotions and feelings, and emotions being like linked to specific events or something bigger, like more of like a powerhouse energetic field. For me, it's that deeper love for people and for community and for understanding those things. So as body mind coaches, like you mentioned, it's not necessarily that we want people to word vomit all over us or download or, just vent out and leave it at that. It's more about helping people find those connections to themselves. And part of it is allowing people to speak their truth, to speak the struggles, the deeper things that go beyond the surface. Because how many surface conversations do we normally have? Like even in between in families, it's this world has disconnected us so much that it can take away from that intimate space of creating a safe space to just explore and express who you are. So as a body mind coach, as a sports massage therapist, as a running athlete, like those, to me, the way I'm looking at it is those are your professional levels and your expertise, and how you can go and branch out and connect to others. But that underlying deeper core value of connection and wanting to have that deeper connection to people is what's going to make you stand out amongst all the other, running coaches and massage therapists and body mind coaches. I think really do provide a really safe collaborative space where part of it is listening and allowing the person we're listening to just let it all out, and then being there with them and helping them move forward. So I want to talk a little bit more about how you do that right now, having all of this experience. What are some ways that you support your clients with all of this knowledge and what you're doing?
Yeah, it's definitely been a whole 180-degree shift, because, if you had told me, 12 months ago that the country was going to be in this crazy lockdown, businesses were going to be closing down, or limiting their hours. I actually had to file for unemployment because before today, I was actually working at a physical therapy clinic, doing sports massage work along with working with private clients. I've had to completely close that off for now. I'm not saying that will never come back again, but for the time being, that's just not a feasible option with all the risk and the possibilities of people catching something and transferring. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
For what I'm doing now, is just diving deep into the body mind coaching. And that's what these virtual sessions I'm doing, where, I'll jump in on a Zoom call with somebody where, we're be talking through whether it's talking with athletics. I have one client that's training for a triathlon. Hopefully it will go through by the time this all kind of fades out. But if not, he's still getting after it. He's still training. He's still making the effort to say, okay, even if it doesn't happen on the day that it's supposed to, for that next triathlon that shows up, I want to be ready for it versus have to go through that whole training block from day one.
Yeah.
And that's been a great thing to work with on him, along with also other people where I'm offering a free 1 month body mind coaching with 4 calls. So 1 per week, 1-to-1, and just getting people to open up on some stuff. And obviously, starts at a superficial layer where, okay, hey, I'm struggling with my morning routine, or I'm struggling with stretching, or getting breakfast, or, maybe it's family related. Whatever it is like, okay, we'll talk about that. And then we'll slowly start peeling back the layers of, okay, what's underneath this? Because we see all the chaos and commotion upstairs with training, family, friends, but there's always something underneath it. And it's usually not just one thing. There's the series of things that are interconnected. And that's what I do, is peel back those layers.
Yeah, I can see that. I can even see you just lighting up, speaking about it. And it just makes me think, yes, a lot of us have had a transition in this space with what's going on globally, affecting everyone on different levels. But for those who are body workers like us, who have had to, put all of that on pause with the uncertainty, not knowing when things are going to go back. I know for me, I have found doing these virtual calls more than I've ever done before this lockdown. I have, what's the right way to express it? I guess been pleasantly surprised at how connected I can feel to someone just through the screen, because I've always felt like having connection as one of my core values. I've always felt like the best way to do that is in person, right? Because you can pick up on someone's energy different and just be in the room present with them. However, in trying to be proactive, prepared, and protect other people, like I've been in right now self-isolation. I think it'll be 4 weeks in a few days. So it's almost been a month. I think I started a little sooner just because I have a 7-month-old niece, older grandparents. I didn't want to chance anything. But I know for me, I've been pleasantly surprised at how connected I have felt in these sessions with people virtually. And I think that's something really important for people who are seeking out specific help, like from someone like yourself, who is a body mind coach, who is, a sports massage therapist, who has the running experience, and who wants to still not just be on their A game, but still do something at home. So what have you found in this space now, doing these, making these connections virtually, where you're still helping to peel back those layers, but just in a different setting? How has that been for you?
Like anything, it takes time and practice. I actually had a call with one client earlier this week, and I could tell he was kind of unfamiliar with it. Like, he was uncomfortable with the connection thing, but as the call progressed, and also as we're, processing stuff together, that shift started happening where he's like, oh, okay, this does work. Like, I am being seen, I am being recognized, the questions are there, somebody's being present with me. And same thing, like when we're going through the program, I remember the first couple of calls, whether it's the coaching corners or with the group calls, it was weird being on the disconnect, but the more times I did it, I'm guessing the more times you did it, it just became second nature. Like, okay, I'm going to jump on the call, boom, I'm here. Just like, when you're having a conversation with somebody, you're focusing 100% of your energy and attention on that person. They can recognize it because they can feel it. Same thing, you can feel that through the computer screen, or, even on the telephone. That can be another way too.
I agree. Yeah, I agree 100%. Because I have had a few calls just on the telephone. Some people just don't have the internet or email. And it's just all about your intent and what you bring in. And if you're someone who, that community and connection and being seen is important, honestly, I think all of us can benefit from being seen and being present, whether that's within our own selves, and then, being present with someone else that can help kind of bring those things out. There's a lot of uncertainty going on right now in this moment in time for all of us at the same time. And I think it's such a blessing to be able to have these avenues of support where you can still be seen, where you can still reach out. It's just knowing what specific help you need. So if you're someone who is a runner, is an athlete who has been training and now all that got on pause, and you're looking to connect with someone who wants to see you, who can see you, can help you be present within yourself and be present with you along the way, definitely reach out to Marc. And I'm going to have at the end of this, it's a video and on my podcast, links to be able to find you, Marc. And I know you mentioned a little bit earlier about ways right now you're specifically helping, like some bonus offers. Can you just speak to that a little bit more in detail so those who are searching for it can know what to expect?
Right. So like I just talking about earlier, right now I'm offering 1 month free of BodyMind coaching. I have 3 spots left. Basically how it starts is we're going to just jump on a call about 20 to 30 minutes just to see, what's going on, so we can get a fit to see if this is actually a good connection. Because, sometimes I may not be the right coach for somebody, and that's perfectly okay, because there's a lot of coaches out there who are now jumping on virtually, and I'm not wanting to hold somebody to a coaching program just because I need to be a coach. It's more of like, at the end of the day, I want the best for whoever I interact with. And if that means somebody needs to be with somebody else, awesome. If that means they need to be with me, that's awesome too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first thing I'm doing. So obviously you have the link for that. And then for the athletes, particular, whether it's the triathletes, the marathoners, half marathoners, or even the other players who are, whether it's soccer, volleyball, baseball, even if they're training, I do have a training gap consultation, which looks at, okay, what are you currently doing? Where have you noticed that, maybe a workout didn't go as planned? You got to backtrack to see, okay, did I work out too soon right after a hard workout? How's my sleep? How's my nutrition? Is there other factors from family, friends, work issues that are impacting the athletic performance? So usually I offer that at $175, but for your listeners, I am offering it for $135.
Thank you. I really appreciate that offer. And those are great avenues of specific support for those of you who are looking for it. And that is one of the things that is very evident by how you're even expressing yourself, Marc, is that I love how you brought up right now, everyone is going on virtually, and it can be very confusing, and we're having all these different tips and things thrown at us. And getting clear on the specific support that you want, I think, is really important at this time when there's a lot of options and availability. And just like you're mentioning, as a coach, it's very evident and apparent that you have that humility and that desire to help the person that is, I don't want to just say ideal, but who will truly benefit from your specific help. So I think that is one great thing to keep in mind as people are looking to receive support, being clear on the kind of support you want, and then knowing that you are at choice. And if you work with someone like Marc, he will help peel back those layers, to have a deeper connection to self, to help explore maybe some of the things that have been keeping you stuck, right? Have been keeping you stuck from moving forward and your goals as an athlete, as a runner. And just even at like a more surface level, I'm thinking like runners, like a runner's mindset, or if there's another kind of mindset that you seem to find yourself coaching people around, or what comes up for a lot of your clients. Can you speak to that at all, or share anything right now for people who are at home, who are curious, but maybe obviously they're not, hopefully not going out and running too much outside in crowds or anything like that, but with that home mindset that will help people right now as they are stuck at home or staying in home? Are there any things that you would love to share that could help, or that has helped you being in the situation right now?
So with athletes, specifically running is not an easy sport, especially if you want to perform at a high level. Mm-hmm. Is getting used to being uncomfortable. And right now we are going to be as uncomfortable as humanly possible since we've been in the last 20 odd years. Mm-hmm. The last time maybe we were this kind of uncomfortable and easy, I would say, it was 2001 after the September 11th attacks. I remember that feeling in the country. Everybody's like, whoa, what do I do? What do I do? Yeah. Those who had the mindset of, hey, I'm used to being uncomfortable, they did okay. They were able to respond. Yes, they acknowledged what they were doing and acknowledge that, hey, there's, some travel restrictions, there's some uneasiness. Will there be another attack? Same thing can be applied in today's times of, okay, we've got travel restrictions. Does my neighbor across the street, are they sick? Do I need to check on them? Is the person at the grocery store, hopefully they don't cough on me? Things like that is more recognizing, okay, I'm going to be uncomfortable in these situations. How I respond to those situations will allow me to decide if I want to live in a place of thriving or am I just surviving.
Oh yeah, I love that. Like, get comfortable with the uncomfortable. That it's, because like you said, there are things that that will affect us in this world. It's going to keep happening. That's just how life is. There's a lot of things that are uncertain, but if we focus on the things that we do know, and that we connect to the things that will help us move through these times of uncertainty, like getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. I really, that resonates with me a lot, because it is true. It is uncomfortable, but that's how life is. Whether we're forced to stay at home or not, we will be experiencing things in life that are uncomfortable. And if you don't learn how to get comfortable with that, and you'll be stuck pretty much. You won't be able to move forward and move past. So keep tweaking it. And yes, at this moment in time, if you are an athlete, if you are a runner, I know my husband also has had to make adjustments. He's not a runner, but he works out a lot, and he had his routine, right? And for a lot of people who have their exercise routines or their running routine, wherever they used to run and all of that, I feel like the piece there that is really helpful is to just make those minor adjustments and shift your expectations. Because if you're trying to just take what you once knew, your old, I don't want to say old, they will come, your current, running habits or routines that are on pause right now, and you're trying to force that into, the stay-at-home order of things, it's not going to work, and it's probably going to get even more uncomfortable for you. So if you can find a way to shift into that space, replace it just for the time being, and even force some sort of comfort mentally, as just thinking that things will get better in some way, shape, or form. I think that is really important mindset-wise, to not get caught up in that loop of, what has changed and what will never be the same, or whatever that is, right? So is there anything else that you would love to share as far as what you're doing to support your community, or even for yourself, where you're at and what has helped you make these shifts, or anything like that?
Yeah. So the first thing is, obviously we were talking the mindset, the kind of the inside work approach. I also want to give people here an external things that they can actually do for their body. Mm-hmm. So coming from the sports massage background and the physical therapy clinic, they have this great approach of looking at the body from a 3D approach. So you got to look at it from the front, the back, and the sides. So specifically, a lot of clients I've worked with over the years, they've had a lot of foot issues, plantar fasciitis, so just kind of foot tension. And for my running coaching, when I look at somebody's stride, the first thing I'm looking at, okay, where's their foot striking on the ground? So with how important the foot actually is, one thing I notice is when people have plantar fasciitis issues or any kind of foot tension, there's a lot of tension in between the big toe and the second toe. Mm-hmm. So if you look at the top part of your foot, there's going to be that soft kind of fleshy area right before the bones, and you can kind of push into it a little bit, and you should feel some sort of kind of referral pain on the bottom of the foot. Mm-hmm. So what you can do is using your thumbs, you want to have a good thumb technique. So kind of having the thumb supported, you don't want to have it out to the side, mm-hmm. but you want to have it supported, lined up with your wrist. Mm-hmm. Is you're going to push down on that soft fleshy part near the part where it's bony on the foot, and then just gently push towards the end of the toes, usually that webbing area between the first and second toe. Mm-hmm. I found for myself and also with clients, giving that to open up will help release the bottom of the foot, because if the foot is being drawn back toward your shin, when you release it on the top part, it releases the bottom part of the foot.
What a great tip. That's a really good point. Yeah. And I really appreciate that, because I'm a massage therapist, and I don't focus on running, but I do have runners who come in with these pains and even issues with like Achilles and all of that. So that's a simple enough technique, right? And so if someone is experiencing any of this plantar fasciitis pain or foot pain and any of that, how often do you recommend that they do something like this, and when?
So obviously, in terms of working top of the foot, is you don't want to work it too aggressively. I've done it to myself where I've worked too hard on the top of my feet and I've gently bruised it.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely don't just, go ham on it and just, dig in because you are going to bruise the top of your foot. There isn't too much muscle mass in that area. But that's something you can do, once to twice a day, whether it's, first thing in the morning, at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely I come from a trigger point background where you're all about blood flow and circulation. So the more times you can do it, the better. But the key thing is you don't need to totally thrash it every time that you work it. So at least 2 times a day. If you can do like 3 to 4, then you're giving yourself a better chance of healing that a lot quicker.
Right. And then, just building upon that, I know with trigger point experience as well, there's a difference between a good hurt and a bad hurt. And that area of your foot, you'll feel it if anyone tries this, it is very tender. So more is not better. It's more the consistent action of doing it, along with probably other stretches you're doing. So thanks. That's a very valuable tip, I think, something small and simple. And I feel like in this time right now, it's good to get a cumulative approach to the small, simple things that we can do to alleviate those pains and stresses, right? So awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Marc. I really appreciate it. Like I mentioned, I'm going to have all of the links to reach out to Marc to find him in the podcast interview and also on the video post. And everyone is welcome to also share any feedback, comments, and I'll get it over to Marc. So thank you so much for joining me today, Marc. I really appreciate your time.
Cool. Thank you for having me, Alina.
Stay safe.